Charles, a author, a financial consultant, a professional with proven experience for many years, financial management, audit, consulting in a number of institutions, public, private, and has been awarded globally and locally, including the government of Uganda, by the President of the Republic of Uganda for his distinguished service and illustrious career. Colleagues, join me in welcoming Dr. Charles Barugahare, who will this morning give us a deeper perspective analysis of nurturing financial mindset. Dr. Charles, you're most welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson Ogwang, for that humble introduction. Welcome once again to Outright Financial Matter Series number 2, with the focus on nurturing financial mindset. I want to thank you, particularly those who are joining this webinar series for the first time, but I also want to thank those who are with us last time. You inspired me to make it to this webinar series, and I can't thank you enough. In the next 40 minutes or so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll deal with a recap of the last webinar, which was focusing on breaking expenses rising to outpace income. We'll also be looking at the overview of nurturing financial mindset, and we'll then look at what influences financial mindset, and we'll pay attention, a deep attention, on strategies for nurturing financial mindset. And we'll conclude. Allow me a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen, to share my screen so that we can straight away head into deliberate discussions. Just a second, I share the screen. Thank you so much. So when we go into a recap of the last webinar, we talked briefly about how to break expenses rising to outpace income. And we focused on 4 aspects: the essence of financial management, which basically paid attention to the 2 most important questions almost everyone deals with from the time we get to know about money up to the time we leave this world. These 2 questions are how we effectively use money and how we attract, grow, and protect money. You will bear with me that almost everyone, a student, a person working, and a person already in retirement, focuses on those 2 questions because he needs money around him or her. We also briefly looked at the retirement landscape, and we picked wisdom from Bosa Musampungu, who provided very insightful statistics on how people retire. An important statistic that I want to remind you about is that 49% of working employees retire as financial dependents. And that is very scary. But that's why we are here. We also focused on why expenses always rise. And basically, we looked at 3 reasons why expenses always rise. And those were: 1, Parkinson's law; number 2, inflationary tendencies and lifestyle inflation; and number 3, comparison, always wanting to compare with other people and spend like they are spending. We then moved into strategies to deal with expenses rising to outpace income. And we looked at basically the key 3 strategies. One was clarity on the three basic words, which is basic needs, desired needs, and safety needs. We also looked at the wage principle. We also then looked at the 50, 30, 20 Pareto rule. And ladies and gentlemen, the webinar is available on YouTube, and you can actually access it and refresh yourself. We ended on a note of a quote by John Hope Bryant that you can make money in two ways. One, you can make more, or through spending less. Let's now straight away go into the overview of nurturing financial mindset, which is the key topic and focus of attention today. Colleagues, mindset is about how we think and feel. When we move further, financial management is about how we think and feel about finances. When we go deeper, nurturing financial mindset is about shaping how we think and feel about our finances. Colleagues, the reality is what you know shapes the results you have. If you change what you know, you will change the results you have. And you can change what you know through changing your thinking and through learning. When you think and learn, you will change your mind. And when you begin to change your mind, you begin to change the actions around you. And when you change the actions around you, you start to influence the results you want and the results that you can have. This is a very, very important reality that we need to reflect on and be deliberate about it. And I will explain this with two real-life examples. The first example I want to share with you is the Think Big testimony. In 2012, in an interaction with a colleague of mine who was at the time earning less than 10 million Uganda shillings, shared with me how he wants to dream big and indicated that he's targeting to earn 100 million shillings a month. I looked at him and smiled. When I smiled, he smiled back. When he smiled back, he said, and pay attention to this, that the 100 million is just 30,000 United States dollars. Pay attention to the word, just 30. You can see that kind of mindset that 100 million is just 30,000 United States dollars. Today, as we speak, this gentleman earns over 100 million a month. He attended the first webinar, and I talked to him yesterday and indicated he was going to attend this webinar. Colleagues, in one of these days, I will ask him if he allows to share his story and testimony. That's the first example I want to share. The second example I want to share is the numbers story. A colleague of mine in Kenya who was handling short courses as part of his business indicated he had spent 2 years failing to attract students to his course. And he attended a course, and in that course, the facilitator hinted on the power of numbers. And this is what he shared with me. He shared with me numbers 1, 100, 10, 10, and 10. Number one reflected the course, that we will have one course. Number two, that the course will be charged $100. Number three, the 10 is that you will attract minimum of 10 participants. And number three, that he will make sure he runs these courses 10 months, meaning that he will have 2 months free in a year. And that he will do that for 10 years. When you do the multiplication of 1 times 100 times 10 times 10 times 10 gives $100,000. And indicated that this forced him to every day move from one office to another to attract participants, at least 10 participants. And that if the participants increase to 20, then his income would significantly double to 200,000. And that if he developed another course and followed the same model, then his income would equally grow times 2. If the course attracted participants and he decided to change and charge a higher fee of say $200, he would equally double his income. And because of this, he said his results significantly changed. So what happened? He changed from what he knew through learning and thinking differently, which affected his mind, which caused which caused changes in his actions and resulted in changes in the results that he got. Today, he's a successful resource person providing courses. Colleagues, do you believe in these testimonies? They are real, and these persons are around us, and they can inspire us at the right time. Let's turn to what influences financial mindset. There are 3 aspects that influence financial mindset. The first one is abundance mentality. The second is learning belief. And the third is resilience and adaptability. You may believe this, or you may not. Most of the things that are important in our lives are free. Air is free, water is free, the sun is free, Mr. Gogo is free, YouTube is free, education, some form of education in a number of countries is free. This challenges us that we have to have a view of plenty. But when you look at these matters deeply, having looked at air as being free, somebody who is able to package it and store it as oxygen, during COVID, he was able to earn plenty of money. So that's the thinking that is broader than somebody can package air and be able to sell it. When you look at water, a bottle of water in ordinary markets is 1,000 Uganda shillings. That's half a liter. With national water, that gives you about 50 jerrycans of water. When you go to Serena Hotel, half liter is 5,000 Uganda shillings. That really changes the perspective around water being free by adding value, by changing the context within what water is managed. You change and attract significant value. We can look at the sun. The sun is available most of the time for countries around the world. But people have been able to attract solar, which they charge heavily. So I want to challenge you to think around plenty. And in my book, Navigating the Financial Path, the 30-day personal finance challenge, on page 5, I explained briefly about the principle of plenty. And I said, those with the view of plenty believe that they can do it. They believe that they can do it better. They believe that it is possible. They believe that they are more than good enough to do it. They believe that they can seek for answers where they are not sure. They can seek answers through learning, through consultation, and so on. That's the mindset of plenty. The reverse is the mindset of scarcity. That they believe they can't do it. That they believe that if they were better educated, they would have done it better. They believe that if they are going to reach parents, they would have done it better. They doubt whether they can change themselves and whether things can work out. They doubt whether they are good enough to achieve something tangible. They believe that they have all the answers and they know it all and they are not searching for more information. This is why David Sherman says wealth is a mindset. It can be attracted or repaired. Let's turn to learning brief. Colleagues, Brian Tracy said that anything is learnable. And I associate myself with that statement. You can learn how to bake, you can learn how to cook, you can learn how to sing, you can learn how to dance, and all those things can be monetized if you are patient and consistent with your actions. I will tell you, I was very, very rare on social media, but right now, just an update on my WhatsApp status attracts some income for me. When that income comes in, it is out of learning and changing my brief system around learning and around change. Let's turn to the third aspect, resilience and adaptability. This is the ability to withstand and embrace change. When there was a fire in Kiseka market, I talked to a few people, and one of the persons I talked to said that my whole stock is gone, but the mind that created it and the physical body is still present with me. I will start all over again, and I will be able to change this situation. It will be a short while, my business will be back. The other person said, all my efforts are gone. I'm finished, and I'm finished completely. When you compare those two people, they will be significantly different in a short time. Colleagues, can you hear me loud and clear so that I'm not speaking alone?
Very well, very well.
Thank you so much.
Continue.
Thank you so much. Now, let's move into the strategies for nurturing financial mindset. And there are three, and I will go straight into the first one. The first strategy is understanding the basic laws of money. Colleagues, there are laws that exist around us that we sometimes don't believe that they are laws. When you wake up every morning, you are obliged to lay your bed. You feel so sad when you wake up and you don't lay your bed, it has become part of the law around you that when you wake up, you lay your bed. The same applies to moving and brushing your teeth. When you wake up and you don't brush your teeth and put on and go to work, you will have violated some law and you will feel uncomfortable. The same applies to money. And I will share a few of these laws. The first is the law on ability to improve your earnings. This law stems from the principle that money comes from two sources, from a good or a service. And that if you improve the value, quality, and quantity of that good or service, you are able to improve your earning ability. To make this come home, you will find a teacher who is concentrating and who teaches very well and always exploring new things around his course area, is always attracted to do coaching during the holidays. When he does that, he attracts additional income. When people get to know about how he's doing this and that he teaches very well, good schools begin to attract him or her. When he's attracted to good schools, the chances are that he will attract higher income. And it will even be possible for that person to be promoted and to get other additional responsibilities. The same applies in any other area of our lives. That's the first law, that we are obliged to improve our ability to earn, and we do this on a continuous basis. The second is the law on ability to effectively use what we earn. It is important to earn, but it is more important to know how easily the money you earn goes out of your hands. Because if what you earn is all spent, then you are the same as that person who has not earned. In my book, Navigating the Financial Path, the 30-day personal finance improvement challenge, I use the funnel that ordinarily we are supposed to earn in bulk, and the money comes in bulk, say as salary or as income from a sale of a good or service. And that the rate at which we release that money should be controlled. You see, the funnel reflects here that it's small at the bottom. But the reality is, our funnels are in the reverse order. We earn little, but we spend more and very fast. So it means we are violating this law on ability to effectively use what we earn, and our funnels have turned upside down. This leads us to the third law. The third law focuses on ability to manage debt. Debt means that you can't afford something and that you are struggling to afford it by paying it later. Romans chapter 4, verse 4 says, wages like debt owed must be paid. And this statement is very powerful because if you borrow, you must pay back. This challenge, this dilemma has entered states. Uganda as a country, we are all worried about the debt that is growing for everybody. Now it has gone also to individuals, where Data Monitor of April 15th reported that 7 out of 10, which is 70%, live beyond their means. And debt is very costly. I will give you an example. If you borrow 100,000 and pay at 20% per annum, in 5 years, you will have paid 58,979. That's more than half of the 100,000 you had borrowed. And colleagues, we are even borrowing from money lenders where you are paying 20%, 15% per month. And when that happens, then you have taken away the money you would ordinarily have. And we have a bad scenario, generally and globally, that the debt is becoming so attractive. There is a lot of promotion of debt everywhere. You find somebody going to town and is buying a phone of 1 million and depositing 100,000. And is going to pay for 1 year for a phone. That actually directly tells you that you can't afford it. The Bible further says in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 26, that do not become guarantors for debts. Many people have ended up paying debts for others because they have guaranteed, and the people they have guaranteed have failed to pay. So debt has significant effects and damage on particularly consumptive expenses. If it is for productive debt and you have done your math, no problem. But if it is consumption debt, I encourage you to stay away from debt. I'm not a very good reader of the Bible, but quite often I read the Bible, and I've not found very good things about the Bible. I will tell you, I've found many good things about saving and investing, which I will share in the next law. The next law is on saving and investing, part of what you earn. The Bible talks about the seed, talks about the talents. And Proverbs chapter 13, verse 21 says, money, little by little, grows. I think you agree with me that money, if put aside and invested, little by little, it will grow. The same Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20 says, a wise man, and I will add woman, saves for the future. This becomes very, very important because you need money today, you need money tomorrow, you need money in the future. And the operating environment is changing very fast, that you need to have some money saved and invested on the side for a rainy day. Let's turn to law number 5, the law on protecting your assets. If you do not protect your assets, you will easily lose them. How do you protect your assets? You ensure your assets have been put in good hands. What are good hands? This means that you have been able to register them, you have been able to insure them, you have been able to put controls over them, and you have not pledged your assets. That way, you are very sure you are protecting your assets. And when you do that, you are able to grow. There are many other ways, but I will spare them for another time because time is not on our side. Let's move to strategy number 2, which is continuous learning. Interestingly, when I meet people who are very successful, they are eager and interested in learning. In my book, 9 Pillars to Exploit Your Potential, on page 30, Brian Herbert says, the capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. And the willingness to learn is a choice. And if it is a choice, and you have not taken that choice to continuously learn, then you'll find it difficult to improve your value, to improve your quality, to improve the quantity of a good or service that you provide. When I listened to the budget speech, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda said that if you don't have a good or service, then there is no way you can attract money. I want to add, if you don't add value to the good or service that you have and improve its quality and have it in reasonable quantities, then you will not attract finances. So it is very important to continuously learn to add value, to continuously learn to improve your quality, continuously learn to improve the quantities around any aspect you are dealing with. We are moving to an environment where change is inevitable. And this change is resulting in a need to revamp our skills, in need to revamp our qualifications, in need to revamp our view of jobs. When you look at it, social media is changing very rapidly. Online education is happening very rapidly. Online shopping is happening very rapidly. Wireless banking is happening rapidly. So if you are setting up many physical shops with no view of online perspective, then you may be headed in the past. If you are setting more branches, yet there is more wireless banking, then you may be headed into a difficult and an opposite direction. So, because change is inevitable, we can only continue to improve ourselves if we continuously learn as a must and as an element that we must do consistently. Let's look at the local and global dynamics. When I was studying in primary and secondary, government schools were the best. Today, private schools are the best. What does it mean in terms of us continuously learning and changing the decisions? So you will find that we are then forced, if we can afford, to move our students from government schools to private schools. We need to understand that that will be a significant cost in our lives. We also need to reflect on the technological changes that are happening rapidly and look at how we respond to them. We also need to look at the supply chain dynamics that are around us and that are very impactful and influential in our lives. Let's turn to the final strategy, which is financial crisis mindset, and I will be winding up. I want to share with you the farmer's experience. I've interacted with farmers because I'm a forest farmer myself, and I've known and I've come to learn that those who succeed in farming do the opposite of what many do. When many people are planting because the season is good, those farmers don't plant because there will be plenty, and when there is plenty, prices will significantly go down. The same thing applies to our lives. If everybody is moving in a particular direction, and you don't think back and reflect, then what is going to happen is that you will be the same like those around you. I also want to share with you a trader's testimony. Recently, I was in town, Chikubo in particular. A trader was saying the times have become hard. Many people are closing and leaving the shops. He said, this is the time for me to change strategy, because as many people leave, then this will be the opportunity for me to make money. You can see that kind of crisis management mindset. If you turn to mergers and acquisitions, it is urgent that when your business is promising, that is the time you need to get integrations and support to merge and expand your ability to do business. But it is also known that when the business is struggling, it is a strategy that you can merge so that even if you get a small percentage in the merging, then the person who has joined you is able to lift you up, and you compare notes and improve. This is a trend that is happening, that our businesses and our activities must start to integrate. I want to share lastly on the end of employment experience. I've interacted with many people who see end of employment as almost a death sentence. I've also seen those who feel that the change will make their lives better. And those who feel the change will make their lives better actually make their lives better. And the opposite actually happens. As I conclude, I want to let you know that what you know gives you the results you have. And that to change the results you have or you want, you have to change what you know. I want to remind you of the influencers of mindset, being abundance mentality, the learning brief, and being resilient and adaptable. I've shared briefly on the strategies, which was covering the laws of money, continuous learning, crisis management ability, and I strongly believe that if you can't dream it, you can't create it, as said by Walt Disney. So mindset is not a one-day event. It's something you have to nurture and grow. So if you change what you know, you will change the results you want or the results you get. I thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Charles, for the wonderful presentation. Very inspiring, very informative. We have learned a lot, and there's also a lot in the chat room. And Charles, putting this into perspective, we have learned and we have appreciated what nurturing financial mindset means, how to cultivate and maintain a positive financial mindset, setting clear financial goals for success, developing healthy spending habits and budget skills, and also embracing a growth towards financial mindset education and management of crisis. Dr. Charles, how relevant is nurturing a financial mindset to a student working on the floor of a factory at night to raise tuition? How is it to a coffee farmer in Sembabule having challenges with drought coffee wilt disease, and what is the best time to nurture a financial mindset?
Thank you so much, Doctor and moderator. Now, a mindset is very key to a student. It's very key to a farmer. Now, this student that is in a factory, if this student realizes that this is the starting point for his career, and that the quality, the value, the learning, the improvement, the lessons that he is getting from there will be very useful tomorrow and in the future, then the perspective of that student significantly changes. And we look at the obstacles he's facing as a journey to a better life. On the contrary, if this student looks at that situation as a bad situation that will take him nowhere, he will actually go nowhere. If we turn to a coffee farmer in Zimbabwe, if this farmer who is facing coffee wilt does not seek the relevant knowledge and skills and says this wilt has come to finish us and we are finished, and doesn't look for the relevant chemicals to use and spray, and does not pay attention to what is causing this wilt, which may be not pruning, which may be several other factors, then this coffee farmer will certainly lose out. So I think anyone who is positive begins to look at the situation with a positive mind and starts to attract attention to things that can lead to positive action. Positive action will gradually change a bad situation into outcomes and results that people can look at and be inspired. I thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And we want to appreciate and thank the audience for being part of this session this morning. Dr. Charles, with your experience as an accounting officer, an author, a financial consultant, how do you consider nurturing financial mindset into institutional culture and aligning it to core values of the institution? And how do you continue sustaining and reinforcing financial mindset for a long-term success of a farm?
Thank you very much, Doctor and moderator. Financial mindset is core at institutional level. I've just said briefly about goal setting using an example of numbers. Now, if that setting of goals using numbers is institutionalized to an extent that the cleaner, the office attendant, the driver, the manager, the director appreciates how those numbers can significantly cause action. You will find if a client walks into that office, the person knows that that client, that person can be a potential customer who can increase their numbers. But you enter into an office and you find that people are not bothered of why you have even come. With that kind of mindset, that organization cannot move far. So I strongly believe that financial mindset and mindset in general is critical to any business, to any organization that wants to improve and change and grow. I thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. There are a lot of questions for you. One is, what tools would you recommend for improving business performance? And also, related to that, globally today, as you have indicated, there are issues of economic crisis, cash flows, corruption, and fraud. How do you look at nurturing financial mindset in fixing some of those issues where one looks at where money is going without his or her hand touching it? So the addition that you have talked of can be derived from any given investment.
Thank you so much. It's a very broad question. I will attempt to answer it, but I also don't have all the answers, and I will share my insights. The tools for business performance. One of the tools that I think is very relevant is understanding the laws of your money, the laws of your business. What have you said as your laws of your business? One time I interacted with the Dr. Sudhir Rotarian, and he said, when they got married, they agreed that they will eat 10% of the profit and they will invest 90% of the profit. He said at the start, this was very harsh. And at some point, they would not even afford a chapati. They would take water and sleep because of the principle they had actually set. But today, 10% of their profit, they can't even finish it. So one tool is to set laws and follow them consistently. Now, with the issues around fraud, corruption, when you set the right tone and culture within your organization, then you set the right tone for minimizing corruption and fraud. You get surprised when you visit a private business enterprise and the owner is picking money that is not related to the business, and the cashier and the accountant are seeing. When that happens with no standard or guidance, then the accountant, the cashier starts to see how he can also pick some money that he can use. But if a person sees clear processes being followed and there are clear sanctions for anybody who violates the process, then the risk significantly increases. You know, globally, Nigerians are feared. But when you go to Dubai or you go to China, you don't fear Nigerians because the systems in China, the systems in Dubai have put them in order that if they dare tamper with violation of the process, they will be dealt with harshly. So the systems and the environment you create strongly impacts the effects of corruption and fraud around us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charles, and congratulations for wonderful presentation, insights, illustrations with relevant practical examples. We are much better than what we are in terms of knowledge that we have acquired from this presentation. And this is going to be a monthly series. And the next date and the topics will be announced. We want to thank all those who attended this morning. There's also a request that can what is being presented, shared also to the emails of participants. And your parting shot in 1 minute, Dr. Charles.
Thank you very much. When you look at the screen, the next webinar is already scheduled. It's on 31st July, which is the last Wednesday of the month. And the topic is how money works. And it will be at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Please block that date. It will be another inspiring day for us. What was the other question, Doctor?
I think sharing of the slides.
Yeah, sure. This presentation and this video is being recorded and it will be live on YouTube. And the presentation will be on our website, www.financelip.org, and you will be able to access it. And specifically, those who would want further information, they can also contact us. Our contact details have been shared on the screen, and I can request the moderator to share them on the screen. But I want to tell you as I conclude that mindset is not a one-day event. It requires to be nurtured, it requires to be improved upon, it requires to be grown. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I thank you so much for sparing your time to be with us and to share some of your insights and for your questions. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and let's get back our routine responsibilities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, all the participants. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to all of you for attendance. We close now. Thank you so much. God bless.